Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a live podcast. We got a treat for you tonight. First time we've had this style of podcast. You're gonna get excited because we got guests in the studio here. You've seen the thumbnail, so you know exactly who we're talking about. We got the massive head and neck of Lachlan in there. Look at him. Look at what is going on
Just
with that. Good to see you, man. You are looking thick, to say the least. But
yeah, man, I can't wait to tee off. How many days? What's the day?
Oh, 3 days to go. 3 days to go.
Yeah.
And then, ladies and gentlemen, we also have the man behind this tournament, behind everything, the president of the Australian Arm Wrestling Federation, Mr. Phil Rasmussen. How are you, sir?
Excellent. Thanks, Blue. Thank you for putting me as far away from Lachlan as possible.
Your neck does not look as thick as Lachlan's.
No, maybe we can do that in post-production.
We can. I'm getting good at editing and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, Lachlan's head is massive. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Anyway, so ladies and gentlemen, what we are setting up for tonight, we've of course got the Over the Top Down Under tournament that's happening on the 30th of April, which is only 3 days away. It is it's the what is it? Homage you're saying to?
It's a tribute to the original.
A tribute to the original.
Yeah.
Nice. So that's going down this weekend. It is the biggest tournament in Australian and Oceanic history. It is. There's cash flying everywhere. I don't even know. I don't want to ask the question how much it's cost to set it up in the back.
A lot.
But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be unpacking everything there is to know about this tournament. We're going to be hitting up your opinions as well as who you think is going to win it. Make sure you vote in the poll. The Aussie arm wrestler Jake Ward straight away in there said head gains are important, Lockie.
They are indeed. I haven't been training my head, just pure neck.
Tom Haviland?
No, different. Paul Mueller.
Oh.
Sorted out my ongoing neck issues that are no more.
Nice.
Yeah.
They always say that you can judge a man's strength by the size of his head. Like that's really like the upside potential, or the cap, the genetic potential. You can say, well, if he's got a bigger head than that bloke, then there's more potential. You agree?
I'm going to agree because I've got a big head. And that suits me just fine.
Anyway, the biggest head I've ever seen in my life was John Brzenk.
Oh yeah,
John Brzenk's head. Have you ever?
Yeah. I just noticed his wrist, the thickness of his wrist and his hands.
it's his thumb that's the most impressive.
Good stuff. Hey, we got a few people in the chat. We got Sweden Arm Wrestling Television. Good to see you, Craigie. What would it be? Early morning for you up there. Lachlan Adair wins, says Josh Barker. He's getting the vote in early. Lachlan will be happy with that. Justin R. He's coming in saying Maateiwarangi versus Lachlan will shake all of Oceania.
That's
a great comment.
That's a lot of meat on one table.
It is. I hope you bolted those tables down.
We double perspex the top table because Tom was worried that with two massive units on there, it might shatter. So
what's Mate? I haven't got an update on his weight for a while, but I think he's about 165.
Yeah. When I saw him a year ago, he was 165.
Yeah, okay.
And I think he's looking bigger now. He's saying that he's in his best form, so I think that he might be 175 or something.
That's insane. That's insane.
And I'm waking up at 112, which is coming into the biggest I've been before too. So it'll be very, very interesting.
And I'm 12 kilos lighter than I was when I faced this big necked thing over here, this ogre.
So you got to weigh in still, Blue.
Well, yeah. We're going to get to that. I don't know if I'm going to actually pull the weight category. I was in two minds. I was really unsure whether I was going to pull my weight category and take and hunt that $500 there, or just go for the 10. And because a few people have asked me, they said, "Look, Ryan, you know you can't beat Lachlan, and like you know that yourself." And I'm like, "Yeah, I get it." But they said, what's your tactic going to be? And I said, my tactic starts with M and ends in Maateiwarangi. Like my only chance is that Lachlan and Maateiwarangi kill each other.
Well, if Ben Carroll's in the mix.
Well, yes. Ben Carroll comes in the mix, then there's the possibilities start to become endless then in terms of what could happen. So, absolutely. Aussie Arm Wrestler says Phil is a star. Can't wait for the weekend. Good on you, Jake Ward. Ready bang down
love Jake.
There. Absolutely, we love Jake. It's 11 a.m. for Craigie over there. I thought it was going to be earlier. 5 a.m. in Jersey. Where is everyone from? Let us know in the chat where you guys are in the world at the moment. There we go. Look at that one. Ryan takes it all. I hope they're talking not about the Milkman Scott.
I hope he has somewhat of a return to form. Like, I really hope that everyone is the best they've ever been for this competition.
I
Because
think they are. I think.
well, that's good because like we've beat them all. Then you can no longer talk to me.
This is the one tournament that you want to win. I mean, you want everyone main draw. Everyone is there in their best shape. Ryan Scott favors tournament style pulling. I mean, some people are better in tournament than super matches. So I think you're going to see what's amazing about this is we don't know how this is going to unfold. Matches will start to unfold in front of our eyes that we didn't know would happen, and that's why this is an exciting format.
Big time.
So Phil, for everyone who's in the chat that doesn't really know exactly what's going on, can you? I know we're in the room here, we're excited, but can you sum this up for everyone and give us a broad overview? What are we doing this weekend?
Yeah. So look, when I say this was an idea from early last year, and Tom Uglesha, Tom is the man who dreamt this up. So Tom is our Queensland director for Arm Wrestling Australia. He came to me at the start of last year in the middle of the pandemic and said, Phil, I've got an idea. And I could see the smile on his face and something big was coming. And he said, let's create Over the Top again with an Australian flavor. And I thought that's a great idea. So it's 34 years since the movie came out and the tournament. Let's go big and do something really, really ambitious that gets everyone excited again. It's been 2 years of couldn't do anything. Tournaments being cancelled nonstop. And so we thought, what does this require? It requires a casino setting. It requires big prize money. It requires bringing anyone and everyone we can over and doing something, for the lack of the better words, over the top. And so we did that. So we embarked on that journey last year. COVID kept knocking us back. So it took the wind out of our sails. We had to postpone in November when we realized that half the states were still locked down in Australia. New Zealand couldn't get here. Singapore couldn't get here. And you thought, well, this is a lot of money for a glorified Queensland state titles. And you guys, it would have been even easier for you guys to take home that cash. So we want to make sure we have as many people as possible in this event, get as big a global audience, and just get people excited again about big, audacious tournaments. So that was it. And then Tom has just been, full credit to Tom. I mean, the man I just got off the phone. He's there. Welder, he's building the tables as we speak. We've got the perspex top. We've got all of the colored pads that match the movie. We've got the octagonal stages that match the movie, LED strip lighting. It looks incredible. So it's going to you're going to walk in there and go, this is fantastic. This is really an amazing production.
Tom really is he's just a master of all things that a human can build. He can do it at such a high quality. Like, you look at his welds, I think even Roger Cunningham would be like, oh yeah, there's some nice welds. So like everything he's done is just mint, and he's always like that. Like, he renovated his whole kitchen with one arm while he had his surgery on his shoulder, and walking in, I'm like, what?
No, he never complains about it.
He never complains about it.
Up at 4 a.m. working his day job, and he's back building the tables, and he's up to midnight doing it. And he's just such a good guy and such a good human being, Tom.
He is.
So much of what you'll see on the weekend is Tom.
Yeah,
literally his handiwork.
Yeah.
So this has come about after 2.5 years of no opportunity for arm wrestling to happen in a formal sense in Australia. And Panduit, the major sponsor for this event, it's like they've stored up all their resources and dropping it on this event is. I feel like this event's going to blow everything I've seen in Australia away, and walking in there on the day is going to be pretty special. Now it's going to be live streamed as well.
Yeah,
My Sports Live is doing it.
My Sport Live is doing the live stream. So we realized when we brought Larry out, so the Larry part came very late in the game, and Panduit they've been our major sponsor for 4 years. All the events we've done has been because of Panduit's assistance. But because of COVID, we couldn't do a lot last year. So we sort of banked that money and thought, well, let's take everything from a year and a half's worth and put it towards one big event, which we may not get another chance to do. Because at the end of the day, when a sponsor supports you, you want to give back as much as you can. The sponsor's looking for as much return on investment as possible. And for us, give them something amazing like Over the Top, where their brand is everywhere. It's live streamed. You've got 600 people, which it's looking like it'll be 600 plus. The venue can actually only hold 700 people. So
wow, we're going to be turning people away at the door. No
I'm
way.
starting to get a little bit worried about that, but if we have that many people in the room, it just creates an amazing atmosphere for the competitors. You guys will walk up there with lights shining on you, smoke. It'll be an entrance like Over the Top, where they announce the top guys one by one. So
unreal. Hey, Josh Barker, one of the main contenders in the 80 kilo division from New South Wales, he's asked Mr. Phil, if the event is a mega success, could we see something like this again? And I'll add to that, what are the sort of KPIs, the targets that we need to as arm wrestlers and as fans? What do we need to do to support this event?
Yeah, look, that's a great. We'd love to. If I don't die from stress by Saturday, and if Tom's still standing after refereeing for the whole day, we would love to. I mean, it's so rewarding to you put this work in behind the scenes, and then to see an event successful like that, and everyone turns up and is just like, wow, this is incredible. They take home great experiences. The live stream audience gets something that is high production value. I think we're seeing a lot of live streamed events now, but we're putting on something that is high production value. There's 5 cameras, there's roaming cameras, there's Wi-Fi cameras, there's rigged up cameras from the ceiling. It'll look really, really, really cool. So to answer Josh's question, we need as many people buying the pay-per-view so we can cover the cost at the moment. We want to try and just break even on the event. If we break even, I'll be very happy, because it means we delivered an amazing event. We still have enough to hold nationals, a decent sized nationals with high production value, and do this again next year. And the sponsor will see this and say, hey, these guys did an amazing job. We're going to sponsor them for another 2 or 3 years. So it's all about carrying this forward and showing our sponsors that we deliver an amazing event.
Now, one of the things that is special about this event is that you're bringing Mr. Larry Wheels here. Lachlan, I want to actually ask you a question before I go to Phil, but are you worried about Larry Wheels?
No. But let me give him a little bit of credit. He's new. I think what's happened with Larry is he's been overwhelmed by some of the greatest minds in this sport that have forgotten all the grassroots stuff. Well, not forgotten, but like they forget what it's like to only be 1 or 2 years in. And I think he's been overwhelmed with information. But if you see how he went against Brandon Allen, yes, he got beaten, but the King's Move is a bitch to deal with at the best of times. And he navigated a few of those pulls really, really intelligently. So I think he is better than people give him credit for, but he's someone that just needs more time developing that weird, twisty strength that arm wrestlers have. So not there yet. I think he's going to give a lot of people curry, but I think out of the top guys, I think we'll see a predictable top 3 in the final.
For sure. And Phil, how did the Larry Wheels story get involved? How did you guys get such a big name to the event?
Devon. So Devon was he was going to come, except the Levan match happened. So, you know, we wanted to get John. John had a conflicting match at that time, but Devon. You know, the great thing about arm wrestling is there's not layers of agents you have to go through like with other professional athletes. You just call Devon. He answers in the bedroom. Like, oh, hey Phil, what do you got? Yeah, how can we help you guys? And he said any other time I would have been there in a heartbeat, because he loves the Australian arm wrestlers and just having. We have a good time. We put on a good event where I think we're easy to get along with a bunch of guys and girls. But Levan was 2 months away, so Devon just said, "Look, what do you want me to help with? I'll promote it. What can I do?" And said, "Well, what do you think about Larry?" And he said, "Shit, just talk to Adam. I'll tell Adam. Talk to Phil, and then it starts from there." So then it starts with, "What do you guys need?" And I think Larry was already receptive to the idea, because people had been saying you should pull tournament setting, and Larry he's invested a lot of time into the arm wrestling in the last year and a half, 2 years, and he, like to Lachlan's point, he's come up against, in my opinion, matches that were just difficult stylistically for him to begin with, but he still did very well. If you look at the way those matches played out, Larry won the first few matches. He beat Khaled first round. He beat Brandon first 2 rounds. That works very well in a tournament. People don't have time to figure him out. He just comes in with brute power. And I think people will be surprised how far he gets. I mean, he won't, I don't think, get to the top 3, but if Larry gets into the top 5 or 6, that is an amazing, because there's a lot of wins in a 64-person class, there is a lot of wins to get to the top 5. I did the math before, and it's about 8 or 9.
Is it seriously 64
It's
person
massive.
club?
We had to expand the ranking system. Juan had to rewrite the code
No
to
way.
accommodate for a 64-person class. So
That's unreal. That's unreal. So it straight away begs the question. And I'm sorry, Loggy.
No, I think you're about to ask the same question.
Same question.
What's the format? How's it being structured? Like
what are the seeds?
I
Yeah,
knew you
how's
guys
it
would
being
be
seen?
all over me. Like,
Yeah, of course. You don't have to give us
Like a cheap suit with that
Lachlan,
question.
your first match is going to be this one, but is it going to be like you're going to match us against people of similar weight, or like is it going by seeds? Or
no, the weight thing came up early days. I think Travis had floated that concept that just throw everyone into the mix and then order them by weight.
Mm-hmm.
And after giving that some more thought with the guys, we thought, no, we like we did for FitX and Arnold, you sort of go, I know the internationals, we know where they sit. We come up with a rough seeding of who are the top, and then everyone else sort of slots in between. So you're still with 64 people. There's a lot of matches to even get to those top tier matches. So yeah. And
so Phil, give us the top 8 seeds, excluding anyone that is a mystery that we don't know that's turning up that you're keeping secret.
So if Carol's not,
So
Carol's, Danny Tesh is not coming at 110 kilos.
So put Ben Carroll in there, and all the oceanic monsters that we know of, and Larry. What are the top 8 seeds?
I gotta really think about that. Look, I think we've obviously got Maateiwarangi and Lachlan on opposing sides of the draw.
So 1 and 2.
And then I don't know where Larry sits in this, but we sort of look at Larry he'd be one of the top tier guys in UAE. So we look at the internationals and where they sit in their respective countries. So had Chance come over, he would be high up there as well. Then you got Milkman, you've got Brett Cooch, you've got yourself, Ryan, Jordan, Mario Tambakis, Adam Lara. There's a lot of guys that outside of sort of the top 2 or 3, there's heaps of guys that could just come through and do damage depending on what kind of matches happen in that pointy end of the draw.
Yeah, we were making this point before we went on air. There's like a few people that I'm going, it needs to be a quick finish. Absolutely needs to be a quick finish, because you don't like, I guess what I'm most nervous about is getting caught in a war with someone. I'm not nervous about losing. I just, like you said, maybe 8-9 matches by the time we get to the final. The style that I've kind of developed over the last kind of 2 years is very efficient. So I've got some confidence in there, but it's like, I don't want to get caught, early on having to battle it out with someone that's just going to cook me for later. So, yeah.
Well, I think I honestly, again, outside of randoms turning up that are monsters like Lavan, who the rat bastard has asked, what if Lavan shows up? If Lavan shows up, Lavan takes the money. That's what happens. And we fight for the $3,000 second
if
prize.
Lavan shows up, I'm going to headbutt him and rob him in the car park.
But I reckon there's 13 people that have a shot at getting on the podium, in my opinion. And I think there's 6 people that have a shot at winning it. For me,
so who are the 13?
The 13 for me, it's Lachlan. To me, Lachlan's a favorite. I think if Maateiwarangi was not coming, Lachlan would stomp everyone and not even be troubled. But thankfully for all of us lower down the ranks, Maateiwarangi's coming. He's number 2. And those guys have the ability to put work into each other that opens the possibility of someone lower getting a cheeky win. The cheeky win possibilities, look, if Ben Carroll comes, clearly Ben Carroll. I consider myself one of those cheeky win people. Ryan Scott, for me, is the most dangerous outsider, as you were mentioning before. His style, he's going to get very fast wins. He's not going to get hung up in a war. He'll either win or lose. So if he's at the pointy end of the tournament, he's going to be dangerous. If Lachlan's had a big barn burner with bloody Maateiwarangi and Maateiwarangi's busted your wrist back and you've dragged it back without your hand, then Ryan Scott's going to be he's going to be doing this. Like, yes, this is exactly right.
I will say, if that happens, I'm going Kazakh styles.
You just go.
I'm going Kazakh styles, just like a mix between Jerry and Kazakh, and I'm going both the well.
Nice. So after Ryan Scott, I think people like Mario Tambakis absolutely could win it.
Yep.
I think
win it. You mean podium?
No. Mario is Mario is the last guy that I say could win it. He's the lowest ranked guy that I think could win it. If everything was perfect, you had a war with Maateiwarangi, and the cards go the right way, he could get through clean and just bust your wrist back if you gassed. But then the Fatales, the Jordans, the Bretts, the Marcuses, they can, and the Larrys can make the podium, in my opinion. And that's about it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think Ryan Scott he's bad. Like Lachlan gets compromised. Even the grip ups. I mean, you're working. That's a lot of matches, and if you meet him, you beat Mate, but it takes a little bit out of your hand, and then Ryan Scott's the next match. His style, like Ryan said, he's dangerous. He's a sort of a mini push car. Bang, bang, bang. He just flies through the draw. No mileage on his arm, and aggressive side pressure hit. So. Look, I want to see Brett Coots versus Larry Wheels. If you want to see a demonstration of the best anatomically well-constructed biceps, those two guys in a slow-motion hook match, it will be.
Oh, slow motion but left-handed, we're going to see that definitely.
Yeah.
I'm really I'm going to be watching that.
That'll be good. That'll be
great.
Probably a 30-second war, that one, at least. And Brett probably comes through with rotation in the end, but Larry's got the bicep edge over Brett, which is very rare for Brett to ever experience someone with a bicep edge over him. But Larry's got the bicep edge over
Maybe,
Brett.
I don't know. Like I'm really looking forward to that. You know, that shit-eating grin that Brett gets when he's like, "Oh yeah, I got it." He just looks up and like he'll struggle, and then oh no, here it is.
Well, it's a lighter Brett as well, so
it is. But when you've been arm wrestling and training that long, how much does that extra 5 to 10 kilos make a difference? You know, he's hard as nails, so. I know his hands and wrists are healthy again, so that's a dangerous Brett any day of the week. Doesn't matter if he's 95 or 105.
So there's your gamble. If you go 90 kilo, right, Brett's in there.
Well, yeah. That's look. At the end of the day, I was weighing up my options. I'm saying, okay, if I'm just counting money, I'm like, okay, I feel like I could win fairly certainly my 90. If Brett was in there, it becomes an uncertain. It's like 50-50 now. So the biggest achievement of the day is to get on the podium of the overalls. For me, that's just the goal, and I really want the silver too. I don't care who is in the final, whether it's Lachlan or Maateiwarangi. I want to be against them. So so you need to have a really tough match and either lose, or a really tough match and win, and then I'll see you in the final.
I'll do you a solid. Because I've got to beat him. Well, I'll have to beat him once. Yeah. If it feels like I sink into my spot, I can just hold him.
Oh, you're gonna work him for me, yeah.
Well, what I had in my mind. If it goes my way, I'll introduce everyone to him, and then
well, because that's the thing. When I pulled with Maateiwarangi 12 months ago, it was just casual at his place in New Zealand. I was on my honeymoon, and it took 5 pulls, 5 starts for me to have it. And once I got the fight, the fifth start was a stop, turned it in, and it was mine. But the first, back pressure pronation was like, oh, okay. Hey, we got a question from Justin R. He's commented and he says, Lockie, can you give us a clue without giving your whole game plan away about what we can expect to see from you during the setup against Maateiwarangi? What's your setup going to be like, Lockie?
Going to be very cantankerous and obnoxious. Sorry, Tom.
I like that word, cantankerous.
Yeah. Sorry, Tom.
So keeping the cards somewhat close there.
It's pretty obvious. It's just get my knuckles up, get my thumb down. Basically, there's more to it than that.
We know where Maateiwarangi is going in the direction he is. He is a in a stylistic sense, he's a one-weapon arm wrestler predominantly. Relative to the guys that he's hanging with and competing with, he's all back pressure and pronation top roll. He's got an incredibly thick thumb, so getting coverage around him is difficult. We know where he's going.
That weapon is a nuclear weapon. We should probably say it's an impressive weapon.
We did some comparisons before. Me being 60 kilos lighter or something like that. Our thumbs are actually pretty comparable.
I don't know. I saw that TikTok video that you did. It didn't look as thick as.
Yeah, but he's like 70 kilos heavier. Anyway, The numbers are getting
I,
higher.
I think his head.
He's 100 kilos heavier.
I think his head might be bigger than yours too, mate.
I don't think it is. It's the tattoo that makes it spread out. It's a visual illusion.
Oh goodness.
But I
mate.
will say that the setup. Look, if my initial move doesn't work, that allows me to slip really easily, and yeah, and if that
Listen,
doesn't go my way, then
you faced like Maateiwarangi before, and he got the winner. You were early in your time, weren't
early,
you?
yeah, I was 2 years in, so it was like would be 3.5 years ago now. I was still above us, so look, and I held him up and I made him work. He still beat me 6-0, but there's a couple of rounds there where I got some decent stops on him. So I think 3 years on, has he progressed at the same rate I have? I would like to say no. We don't know. I know I've had a lot higher caliber competition over the years because I've had the opportunity to travel and do all of that fun stuff. So it's a really interesting match on paper, and I'm very, very, very much looking forward to finally putting an end to the question mark.
Yeah. So you're not pulling the weight category tournament, are you?
Nah, I'm going all in. My truck's been rebuilt, so I need some cash.
Good stuff. Hey, one gentleman in the chat that is going to be featuring, I think, very heavily in that 90 kilo division, Kyle Howarth from WA. He says he's getting excited, and it sounds like it's going to be amazing. Do you see anyone? For me, Kyle, unless Brett cuts down the 90, I see Kyle as the favourite for the 90s. You guys agree?
I see him potentially top 8 in the overall. I didn't realize Kyle was in the chat, but Kyle's someone who's incredibly dangerous in that class. And you
It's
you
so
get
awkward.
the way his strength, I think, will be unexpected from some of there's some big people in this draw. I've had contact from some guys in the Blue Mountains, and one guy was 6'7", 172 kilo, and he goes, me and a bunch of other big guys who train together are all coming up to the event. I'm thinking, I've never seen or heard these names before. So there will be some big units in this draw, but Kyle Howarth, he has the potential to go deep. And if you get a slightly worn out favorite or someone on the other side, Kyle Howarth will go straight through him.
We've seen Kyle press Ryan the Milkman Scott in official starts before. I've watched him train with Devon, and Devon's like, I can hold your press. Oh no, I can't hold your press. It's like, oh, okay. So if Kyle gets in his lane, Kyle has a big finish, and again in tournaments, anything's possible.
Yeah.
Anything is possible. Aussie arm wrestler Jake Ward, he says, buy the pay-per-view. It's cheap as chips. Good on you, Jake. And yeah, so this pay-per-view, Larrett Bastard's asked, is it going to be on Foxtel? It's not going to be on Foxtel, Larrett Bastard. It is going to be. I'm sorry, I didn't prepare. I didn't have the link already in the description. I should have had it. But Phil, where do they find the pay-per-view for this?
So the pay-per-view, if you go to the Facebook event for Over the Top, the pay-per-view we've posted many times the last few days with the PPV link. So guys, jump on it. It's you're getting 10 hours of entertainment in that pay-per-view, and the opens is 2.5 hour competition. So even if you don't watch the other classes throughout the day, you still watch a 2.5 hour open class with all the big names, which alone is worth, in my opinion, the $10. So
absolutely.
Quick question. Match of the day, will they get the clear perspex table as a prize? Because that's an iconic table. Like, it's not for me. I think
I don't know if Tom's going to part with that table easily.
That's fair. That's fair.
He's put his heart and soul into building that. But look, the four comp tables will all be up either for auction or raffle on the night, and they are all whites. They've got that sparkle in they look amazing. So under the lights, they're really red and blue pads.
And those are LED strips as well.
Yeah.
And if it's a tom table, it's like I have a
really
tom
table.
I've tried really hard to break it. That thing ain't budging. So, so is there going to be one table to the match of the day, and the rest of it going to be raffled and auctioned off? Because it's
look, I hadn't considered that, but that's a
good idea. It's a good thing.
It's a cool idea.
Yeah.
As long as they carry the thing back with them.
Oh yeah. I'll carry it. It's fine.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We were going to do a trophy or another prize for match of the day, but maybe the tables.
I think table's a pretty sick idea because it is an investment to buy a table big time, and I think it's a pretty momentous thing to win as well. And I think whoever wins it's going to be really stoked. So talk about it, think about it. I don't know. It's just throwing the idea out there.
I'll talk to my people.
Yeah, talk to your people.
Sounds like Lachlan's got his eye on a table and he's trying to.
No. I got 2 tables at home. I'm fine.
Yeah. Hey, Brian Damage in the memory. He's asked the question: what time will this be starting, and what day is it on?
Well, it's on the April the 30th, so this Saturday, and it will start 11 a.m. Brisbane time, so Eastern Standard, and it will it'll go through till 6 p.m. So 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. is the open class, and that will be 64 competitors. Let's say 64 across 4 tables, 2 hours. So we've sort of worked out the averages on match times to try and how do we fit all this in. But 4 tables will cut through 64 competitors down to the final 8. We expect the final 8 to start around 8 p.m. So once we get to the final 8, tables get taken off. The Perspex finals table comes out. Stage gets adjusted to have that center octagonal piece, and it is very much like the Bull Hurley Lincoln Hawk final.
Nice.
Without the broken nose part, unless that happens to happen by
the
itself.
drinking of the oil, I'm probably going to skip that.
Hey, Fox 8 Ball wants to know: is Phil Rasmussen himself entering?
Highly unlikely. It's the furthest thing from my mind, to be honest.
Yeah, you're commentating with Jake Ward for the pay-per-view. Is that correct?
Yeah. So Jake and I will be sharing, because there's a lot of time throughout the day to be talking. So we've got the announcements for the classes, coordinating 4 tables, and having half the battle as competitors not running off into the crowd when the scoring system hasn't been updated for the right table. So logistically, it'll be a challenge, but our goal is to make sure it runs fast, efficient, entertaining for the crowd and the competitors. Jake and I will share that, and any other commentary we have. Look, the live stream will pick all that up. You'll hear it very clearly.
For sure. Hey, some interesting questions about Larry now. Kyle Harris asks, is Larry just doing the open? And the Drew 24 asks, how much time between matches? Because Larry needs a rest. So is Larry just pulling the opens?
I think he's pulling left arm heavyweights.
Okay.
It makes sense. It's his dominant arm, and he's a good chance to win that. And he'll pull right. I'd say right opens. I don't know if there's any benefit to him fatiguing himself in the right arm heavyweights and then going open. So let's say he's doing left heavyweights, right opens.
Would we then potentially run the heavyweights first in the left-handed category instead of last, and then having to back up straight away into the opens? Or
no, so we'll start with the right arm. So the day will start
right arm and then the left arm. We're going to do heavyweights first in the left arm, or we're going to run it the normal format, and the supers have to wait till the end in the left-handed division.
The supers will come. Look, to be honest, the size of the 70 and 80 kilo classes, I'm sure they will still be running on their tables by the time we get through the 105, the 105 plus.
And that kind of answers to the Drew 24's question. How much time between matches Larry needs a rest? I think it's going to be a lot of time. With a draw this big, it's going to be. You might have 20 minutes between your.
Just stay on the A side.
You stay on, if you're on the A side, it might be 20 minutes. Yeah, and then you're sitting there going, oh, yeah, okay, I should warm up again.
No, I'm bringing a big jumper and just staying hot.
You're
doing
the Todd Hutchins thing.
Yeah, I'm going to be eating nothing but instant mashed potatoes and carbs the whole day and just coming in boiling hot.
There is 4 tables, though, so it's not as much rest as you think. So you think 4 tables running one class, it's going to churn through matches a bit quicker.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Sharon Remez, a legend of arm wrestling in his own right, he's made an interesting observation there, and it's something that Larry Wheels is I guess battling with. His comments from Sharon is Larry gets so much advice that he's lost the thread. Has Larry been overwhelmed with too much information in the last couple of years? And what version of Larry do you expect stylistically to turn up?
Well, that's a point that I said before. I think he's been overwhelmed by some of the greatest athletes and coaches and minds in this sport, and they're forgetting, like, he's a super strong guy. How do you coach someone from the ground up? And often a lot of things get missed. So I think he has been overwhelmed with a lot of really advanced ideas that aren't going to click for another 5 or 6 years. Like, it'll make sense back then. Like, he'll understand it now, and then he'll go, okay, that's how you use it properly. So I think he's been overwhelmed. The version that we're going to see is going to be palm up, all on bicep. That's what I reckon.
What about you, Phil? What version of Larry do you think turns up?
I think I wonder how much better Larry would be, if that much better, if he just had one coach. I mean, is Larry, we don't know if Larry's as good as he could possibly be after 2 years in the sport. yes, he's overwhelmed by advice and knowledge, but he's still. I mean, the problem is he goes up against the Khaled. Khaled's hand and wrist is ridiculous. I mean,
it's
I
not
don't
normal,
think that's not a good indicator of a regular person.
No.
Khaled, I think, would do massive damage in a draw like over the top.
Yeah.
You'd be horrified by the guy's strength. But so Larry's met, but I think he'll do better than expected.
Absolutely. I think you'll do much
Definitely.
better than expected, but because he's just so strong.
Yeah.
So I want to focusing on Larry. Who of the badasses in the Australian and New Zealand draw, those guys that we talk about, the top 8 seeds, who of them do you genuinely think Larry can beat if he gets one of them in the early rounds?
As in they're fresh?
Yeah. So like, can Larry beat Jordan Davis?
In the strap, if Larry gets strapped to him, I think he's got the style that will trouble Jordan.
He's got enough side pressure for Jordan. I think a really good match might be Mario and Larry if they meet early on.
Yeah, Mario and I agree with that one. Mario and Larry would be nasty. How do you see Mario and Larry? If it's early.
Yeah, if Mario doesn't, I mean, obviously Mario's going to try and top roll and go outside, but if Mario does get stuck in a hook with him, Mario will probably win that, but that's his day over at that point. If Mario has to battle out with Larry, no one wants that match. No one wants to get stuck in a hook war with Larry Wheels early in the draw with that many matches.
A lot of people have criticized me and asked me. They said, "Ryan, what the hell are you doing trying to manipulate the draw to get Larry as your first round?" That was all for marketing. I don't want Larry at all the first round. Larry is way too strong for a first round match. I do not want the dude. Maybe in the quarterfinals or something, but not first round.
How long is Larry going to be here?
They're in town for 3 days, so it's
short
and sharp.
Arrive Saturday or Friday?
They arrived Friday night.
Friday
night. I had sort of said to the guys, do you want to extend your stay? But yeah, no, they were in and out. So chance to relax on the day after and back on Monday.
I think that's going to pose some issues on Larry because I had 3 days to get ready for Todd. And then I read some papers that said like a strength athlete can suffer anywhere from 30 to 75% of their strength sapped from jet lag. And I know Dubai's only a 12-hour flight, but
still, yeah, it's a
12-hour flight.
It is a time difference as well. I think we're 6 hours difference or something.
Yeah, so it's gonna, and he's a big dude on a plane. I know he's probably flying business, but
he's going horizontal, so he's got that on his side. He'll be getting a good night's rest.
It's still tough though, because like you think you need 1 day of rest ideally per time zone you cross. So how many time zones are there between here and Dubai? That's actually a good question for you. You probably
it is only about 6 hours behind, so it's not a huge.
Yeah,
it's not
how many do we
States.
cross in each different countries? That's what I mean. Because there's like 15 going to the States.
Hey, we got a super chat in from Dizzy Daz. Thank you. He's a $4.49 Great British Pounds. That's about $1 million down under. Thank you very much for the support. He says, "Can't wait for this, guys. How do we purchase the event and how much will the pay-per-view cost? Thank you. I'm sure it will be amazing." The answer to that question is head to the Australian Arm Wrestling Facebook page. I will, at the conclusion of this video, put all the links in the description to this as well.
That super chat is how much the live stream is.
It's 10 USD, right?
It's about that. So yeah, just go to the Facebook page, guys. The Arm Wrestling Australia, over the top, down under. There's links all over it with the pay-per-view.
Absolutely. Hey, Matt Rhodes, he comes in and says, "This is such a competitive comp, this one," and it really is. It's the deepest. I haven't had this feeling in a long time of just the genuine excitement of an amazing tournament. This is a deep tournament. It'll be the biggest tournament that I think I've witnessed in Australia. It's funny when I think about. I'm sitting here thinking, okay, the draw is going to be a major factor. You said something to me before that makes me go, I got to think about this even more so. And what that is it's not just the top 13 guys that are a problem. You said there's guys that are 6'7", 170 kilos that I might get in my first round just because they're a nobody. And your nobody turns out to be a friggin' monster. And that can be a factor.
Look, let's just go back to, I think it was the FedEx where Lars and John Brzenk met. Alan Cleese was in that draw, and John Brzenk struggled. He had to go to straps, and he said to me after, "That guy has the strongest wrist and hand I've ever felt." And you watch the video, and John, for a moment there, he realized he couldn't even move this guy's hand. He slipped to get the strap. Now, you get a guy like that, and Alan Cleese was 172 kilo that day. He was huge. He had no idea how to arm wrestle, but just his fundamental strength and his wrist and hand meant that even a guy's experience has got to waste energy now trying to figure out how do I bring this guy down without expending too much.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's a worrying prospect, isn't it, Lachlan?
Oh, we're kind of used to dealing with big boys, though, right? Like we train
The
a
Brisbane
lot.
Eight, the Brisbane Eight.
The Brisbane Eight. Like I'm very much used to gripping a hand that's like, what the hell, and turning them in and rolling them out. So I think we got a little bit of an advantage there in Brisbane, among our other many advantages.
Phil, Aussie arm wrestler Jake Ward. He says Phil has something up his sleeve. Reveal yourself, Phil. Are there any?
Nope.
Are there any surprises in the form of international athletes that we should be aware of? Or
Look, there's a few from Uzbekistan that I didn't think, until I see visas and tickets for flights, I'm not convinced. But the Uzbekistan guys contacted me and said, Phil, we're arriving tomorrow. We're ready. I'm like, shit, I've got to look at these guys. What weight class are these guys in? But
who from Uzbekistan? Because I have a loss to someone from Uzbekistan that's Lottie.
Oh,
And he crushed my left hand that
oh,
hard.
yeah, I know the dude. I know the dude.
Yeah. I
there's
couldn't
a few
feel
of
my
them.
thumb for 3 days.
There's a few of them. So there's a team from Uzbekistan, and it looks like at least 3 of them are coming. There is, so this is the thing, is most of the lighter class guys will be Singapore. There's a lot of the lighter class guys. Even New Zealand has got, we obviously talk about Mate a lot, but you've got Anton. He's 90 kilo national champ. You've got Jack. He's 80 kilo national champ. You've got Corey, Charles Puri, John Leach.
Yeah. Charles Puri almost defeated Danny Tesh.
Exactly. These guys are all they're all wrist hunters. Yeah. They're bad news for somebody. They all got rock solid wrist.
Yeah. Straight away, you've got to say someone like Charles Puri could be on the podium. He's one of those guys that could make the podium. He is.
Yep.
So yeah. No big reveals. No Ryan Espies or anything like that.
No, Espy was. Yeah, like Chance was the one I was going to throw in, and Chance was close. We had Chance within less than $1,000 of getting here, and it was. Yeah, I think it just wouldn't work out in the end because Chance wanted to bring his partner, and to get, obviously that just doubles the price of everything. So personally, I would have just left my partner at home and gone, I can win that 10 grand and get back on the plane. But
we had to feed him too, so
I would have put him with you.
Huh?
Would have put him with you, Lachlan. Chance had the right get up. He had the 80s attire. He was ready. He was built for this tournament.
He was born ready.
Hey, Mickey Lonsanovic, who a man will no doubt be featuring in the tournament as well. I'm not sure if it'd be 80s or 90s, but Mickey will be there at the pointy end for sure. He's asked strap or no strap Lachlan, and so hold that thought, Lachlan, because I actually want to ask before you answer it. I want to ask Phil, what the hell are the rules that we're using for this? Because rules right now are a hot topic. Devin and Levan are fighting each other over the internet. Well, Levan's actually not saying anything, but Devin's fighting himself in a closet over this subject. Everyone's talking about it. What rules are we using for this tournament?
Oh, so the rules, and there was contention even amongst us in the committee. I mean, this was a democratic decision. What balance do we strike between entertainment, speed of matches, because you cannot employ WAF rules when you've got so many matches. It would take forever, and it's boring. Let's be honest. WAF rules as clean and they're very official, and you get a clear result. But there's a lot of elbow fouls, and there's a lot of disruption in matches that otherwise would play out in a more entertaining sense. So we didn't go with WAF. We went with a hybrid, which is running fouls. So there will be running fouls used. There will be set grip. So the set grip that we've applied at New South Wales comp, the previous Vic comp that just went past, the referees will do a set grip, not a referee's grip, but a set grip. And I'll have to double check on that. It's not all slips go to straps, but if it's a questionable slip, like if you're literally slipping off the pad.
So if your elbow's still on the pad,
and you're below the pin line, or you're on the, if it's an obvious, we can all see it that the person was losing and they slipped, it's a loss. But if it's all contentious,
if it's a pronated, boom, real low, it's a low pronated, but my elbow stayed on there and my fingers went like that. Is that straps or what?
Most often we'll go to straps. If there's any contention, and if we have to get 4 referees to consult, straps. It's an easy decision.
Good stuff. Hey, do you remember, Lachlan, your famous slip to the straps.
Oh, the salt
The
salt
salt-
buy one.
Oh yeah,
Hey,
Can
none of that,
Can
Lachlan.
you
Hey.
reenact that slip for us right
Just-
now?
that was the rule, so I exploited
Your elbow actually was higher than your hand
it. Absolutely.
at the point of slip.
That is a full exploitation of the rules, and I'm not mad at it at all.
Good stuff.
You got away
Hey,
with it.
I just realized we got Neil Pickup in the house, the man behind Arm Wars, the Iron House that just featured Jordan Davis, who's going to be in this draw as well. So, Neil, thank you for joining us in the chat. And he said some interesting stuff here about Larry. He said if Larry has to pull a lot of lads in the bracket, then he would have a lot of issues in the later stages, as he is new and comparatively inefficient. The fast finish is going to be king in the main draw format.
Mm.
Larry does have some degree of fast finish in him, though, doesn't
Explosivity.
he? I mean, yeah, was that a Neil Pickup
Yeah, it
impression?
was.
Oh, funny stuff. But he does have some explosivity in there, and you never know. He could go through. Justin R with another super chat comes in. He says, "How much do I need to pay to have Lachlan wear a silly hat that doesn't obstruct the matches during the entirety?" Well, Lachlan, name your price in a super chat right now from
No.
Justin R.
Hey, I already shaved my head. I'm not.
What price super chat does Justin R need to give right now
There's no price.
for you to
I'm not
put
doing
some
it.
whacked out hat on?
No,
I think Lachlan wears the back to front hat in the poster we did.
Yeah.
You're already on
yeah,
theme for the over the top. I mean,
I was, but I'm coming in bold for this.
will that hat fit your head though?
Yeah.
Your head's bigger
Yeah.
than in that
Yeah.
event.
No, I got a new hat now. That was a while ago, Phil. But I got new hats now. But same hat size, 7 5/8. If anyone wants to know.
There you go. Josh Almighty was hoping that it was just going to be $5 to get that hat on your head. Doesn't work out that way. Let's have a look at who else is in the chat. What is going on? Josh Barker says Bowen Contendo. Is it Contendo? Is his surname? From the in the 90s from New South Wales.
Woodchopper.
Yeah, absolutely. Woodchopper
Wrist
apparently
of
has
steel.
amazing hands. Like he's ascended the ranks in the New South Wales club very quickly. It's only Mario that's beating him on left now, I believe. So we'll watch for him. Thank you, Josh Barker. Josh Almighty, 4 a.m. over there. Good night, lads. We'll see you on the weekend. No doubt it's going to be good. Thank you for joining us for that one. All righty, let's have a look at what else is going on. Tim Pipe with a super chat. Thank you, Tim Pipe. He's come in. He says, "Gentlemen, who will be pound for pound the most stand surprise?" The most stand surprise.
The biggest surprise?
Pound for pound.
Who's the lightest guy that you think is going to surprise everyone?
Pound for pound, who's going the deepest into the tournament?
I reckon it's going to be
Valen. For the record, yeah, I like
on
that
answer as well.
And just for the record, everyone, Jordan Davis is currently heavier than me, so don't tell me that he's pound for pound better than me. Right?
What's Kyle Howarth weigh?
Yeah, Kyle Howarth.
Pound for pound, he's right up there.
He's the same. He's like 92 kilos. I'm 92. Jordan's 93, 94.
Sam Burnett, where's he? Where do you guys have him?
I think Sam is pulling under 80s. I think
He will,
So
but
he's
he will
gonna have
probably
Valen?
want to go in the opens.
Yeah, he'll compete. He always does, but he'll get Valen.
Who's the favorite in the 80s? Out of Sam Burnett, Valen Lowe, Josh Barker, Josh Barnett from New Zealand. You guys
Josh Barnett.
You haven't experienced him. I've gripped him.
Yeah.
Holy. Okay, like really short forearm. In a hook, I was red lining to get out of there. Big time.
It's hard to get around Valen though. Like that guy is.
He's 70 though. Valen is
Oh,
not
is he
in that.
70?
He's 70. So Valen.
Oh,
shit.
shit.
Okay,
You've got Valen up
Valen's
against
definitely taking the pound.
Josh
for pound.
Barker,
Yeah.
Nick Burnett. There's a whole heap of guys in the 70s. But 80s, yeah, Josh.
I'm going with Josh Barker. Because I think that press is very explosive and very.
I was going to say
difficult
Josh
to deal
Barnett.
with.
Josh Barnett in the 80s.
It might be a really good match between those two. It's those conflicting styles. I mean, if Josh Barnett's got that big bicep, and Josh Barker managed to get a little bit of rotation in on him on that press, then we might be in for some elbow mashing.
Well, my recollection of Valen Lowe was that even when I was 10 kilos heavier than him, and I was thinking, no, I can. This was on the side table down at Arnold's one year, where I think I'd won the 90s and Valen was there pulling the 80s, and I gripped up with him, and holy crap, like our wrists were even and balanced, and I'm like, you're a little dude, why is my wrist not taking your wrist? And he's shorter than me. I'm like, he's an impressive dude, Valen Lowe.
He's older now. He's out of the
He's in the military.
He was in the military because they have conscription there. So he's out of that now. And as far as I know, he's older. He's coming into his man strength. So.
Tim Pipe, thank you for the super chat. Ben Young, talking about man strength. Lachlan looking even more massive now. Give us a neck flex again, Lachlan, and a jaw flex. Look at that head.
Yeah, I'm all neck and head.
I thank goodness it's Phil in the screen, not Maateiwarangi and Lachlan. I don't think we would fit you guys in.
They wouldn't fit.
It wouldn't fit.
Yeah, absolutely. But Veritas says Lachlan is my arm wrestling hero.
Oh, thanks.
You know, I actually think that you have. We touched on it before on who should be Larry's coach, and would he be benefit from just the one coach? I actually think that he needs a coach like you, someone who was already strong before you arrived in the sport, and had to learn technique and stop using what feels like the best path because.
Yeah, having to the way I train now is if I feel like I have to muscle through someone, that's not a good way for me to train. I make an effort to make everyone feel as easy as possible, which is just a show of efficiency and movement. So, I think he'd probably benefit from that, but I'm not going to be jumping up and down for it because he's probably got a lot of that going on.
And Neil has chimed in and confirms what you were saying before as well. Jet lag is a thing in strength sports. Been there, seen that.
Indeed, you do. We saw that recently in West Virginia.
Yeah. David L reckons we're all underestimating Larry so much. That'll be an interesting one. Murray Mackay says, I am not Sap the Bee. Controversy over whether Murray Mackay was Sap the Bee. Today. Sap the Bee, one of the famous trolls of the YouTube arm wrestling world, famously heavily critical of Devon Larratt, loves John Brzenk, rips Devon at every opportunity, super chats in Australian dollars. And Sap the Bee made a comment on Jake Ward's live earlier today saying, I think Murray Mackay will win it.
It's a very Murray Mackay thing to say, yeah. It's
a very Murray Mackay thing to say, but it's also a very, I feel like Mario is just a huge troll.
Mario might be.
He loves it. He loves a good joke.
Hod touchings as well. That might be Mario.
Touchings.
I think between Mario and Andy, there's a couple of YouTube accounts.
Yeah. But hey, Murray Mackay, I wish you all the best. Hopefully you make it to the tournament as well. Murray Mackay, of course, probably the biggest human in Australian arm wrestling, like a 6 foot a million.
There will be, so we might see our friend Tom. Now he won't go on the draw, but he said he'll be at the event. Tom Haviland.
Tom Haviland.
You want to see a big Tom Haviland?
I do not want Tom Haviland in the first round, please. Do not give me Tom Haviland.
So Tom's good friends with Nathan Jones. Nathan Jones, you remember out of Troy. Nathan Jones might come. Stick him in the round draw.
That is the worst. That is the worst opening round for a non-arm wrestler that you could possibly get.
Tom's so big.
I honestly think I'd lay down to Tom. If it was opening round, I'm not wasting my time.
He'd crush your hands. That's the thing. His hand strength is so strong. It's ridiculous.
How tall is he? He's
6'6".
No, he's bigger. He's 6'8", I think.
He's 6'8". He's pushing 400 pounds.
Lean.
And he strict curl. He sat there and did 4 reps of 130 kilo bicep curl like it was nothing.
Yeah, I had someone saying this is fake weights, and I'm like,
it's not. It's not.
You don't know.
Is that more than Levan did?
Yeah.
That's insane for a guy who's not an arm wrestler.
No.
I saw him do a double overhand rack pull with just these fingers with like over 300 kilos for sets of 10, like 10 sets of 10 seconds or something.
That's crazy.
Walks around with 500 kilos and just going for a stroll, lad.
He will wreck anybody's day.
He will wreck anyone's day.
Everyone that touches his hand will not win the tournament.
No.
In my prediction. Tom won't win the tournament.
If he's watching this, they might just
everyone. I'll even say it like I don't think this guy will win the tournament if he has to go through Tom before getting Maateiwarangi. I don't think Maateiwarangi will do it. Like whoever Tom touches, he's going to drain them crazily because he's a freak.
He's a freak.
That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. I'm scared now. I'm genuinely scared. Yeah. Eastside Arm Wrestling has commented, hey, fellas, Singapore guys are about to fly over in a couple of hours. See you lads there. They're probably in the airport now.
They will be, yeah. These guys get in the morning. So we got five of Singapore's best here.
Nice. Very good. Malaysia as well?
No one from Malaysia. So we got the Uzbekistan guys. We've got Singapore, India. I had a massive list from the state of Telangana. So all the best. There was like 25 in that list. So there was girls, guys, whether they get
Did you
they
say
get
the
here.
Uzbeks?
No, this is from India.
Oh, India.
So the India had a big group as well, but no, the Uzbeks are for you worry about anyone getting towards that Eastern Bloc.
Neil Pickup is just in capital letters, right?
Wait. If you allow the
Hang
new
on.
big lads get comfortable, they can cause issues. If I've gone Scottish now, if they
Keep on
attack
going,
them,
Lachlan.
if they attack them hard, they will not be an issue. The Uzbeks should be far more of a concern.
in capital letters, the Uzbeks should be far more of a concern. They're from a region of the world that does arm wrestling properly, and we may not have ever heard of them at all. That the individual that walks up the table, you'd be like, but if you see UZB next to his name, you think, oh, hang on a second, because he might have that no load and just out of nowhere.
I'll have to check if there's any Kazakhs coming. That'd be dangerous.
I'll be
Shadara Club.
I'll be the Kazakh representative. My little quick snappy tricep crack. It'll be fun.
Oh,
It'll be fun.
Crazy stuff going on. Let's have a look at a few more comments. Neil lighting us up there with all the possibilities of what could happen in this tournament. Murray Mackay wants to know, is the King's move allowed? Sure.
Well, if you not in a if you look like if you're dropping like in Vic, we were very efficient in the Vic titles. As soon as the King's move, it smells
so
remote.
Is it a warning? So if the old humerus, if the humerus is negative when you're in a neutral or defensive position, is it a warning or is it a running foul?
It'll be it's a running foul.
Okay,
so if you drop,
straight up
so 2 fouls and you're done. So we did exactly what we ran, and it ironed it out. We didn't see it much in Vic because once the guys stopped doing it, they're aware. Okay, I need to stop doing this now. I'll lose the match. So same thing.
What about the elbows on these pads? Given that the tables are all different, like, what are we expecting? Are they the round cupped?
No,
version?
we didn't go with the cup. The cup we went with square pads. So we'll put up some sexy shots of the tables tomorrow, but they're still the square pads. Just for the cup was going to be introduced too many issues with trying to watch the elbows inside the cup, and it's an unfamiliar table for many competitors, unless you were around the 80s competing at that tournament. So no, square pads.
Absolutely. Hey, Aussie Arm Wrestler says he's going to be setting a Guinness World Record on the night for the most ready bangs yelled at a tournament. How he hasn't got a sponsorship from Bang energy drinks yet, I don't know. But he really should. No doubt. I've seen Jake Wood speak for 8 hours continuously. I think he'll break that record as well.
Man, that guy's got a voice like concrete, doesn't it? Like, it doesn't sound like concrete. It's not what I'm saying, but he can just keep
just plows through everything.
Just plows through, and does he ever lose his voice? I don't know.
You're going to see the sharpest dressed Aussie arm wrestler ever.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look out. Hey, the number one seed, ladies and gentlemen. The number one seed to the tournament is in the chat. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, Big Maateiwarangi, the beast, Hector Morris. He says, I can't wait to see you guys. Maateiwarangi, when are you arriving, brother? How long are you here for? How many seats on the plane are you taking? Because you are a massive man. What are you weighing right now? Is it like 170? Where are we at? I want to know. The beast, Maateiwarangi, Hector Morris. Give us some inside information, brother. Good to see you in the chat.
We should call him and get him on.
We should.
Because you asked him about 6 questions.
Hang on. All right. Let me do that. I can do this.
Okay.
I'm going to put the camera on you guys. You guys talk amongst yourselves for a moment. I am going to invite Maateiwarangi, Hector Morris to this live stream. Let's see if we can get him on.
He's probably having dinner.
Tell you what, the poor person stuck in economy next to him. You just kiss your flight goodbye.
Yeah. They would have to spread him out. Like, I mean, I guess a good thing the flights are really quiet now.
They're busy now. They're
busy now.
Even Larry's, they're packed. They're packed.
New Zealand Air have got to have wider seats, surely. No, they don't. Poor bastards.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. We have sent Maateiwarangi, the boost, Hector Morris, the number one seed in the over the top down under tournament. We sent him an invite. I don't know. New Zealand will be a bit late over there at the moment, but
are they forward or back?
They're ahead of us.
2 ahead.
They're
ahead of us.
Okay, so it's 10 o'clock.
That's not too bad. Maateiwarangi's. I'm often talking to him at 2 a.m. I know he's up. He's always training. Have you seen when I saw him? His biceps were something like 22 inches.
Mine are 21.
So he's with 22 a year ago.
You guys saw the photo that He put up. Let me.
Oh, yeah. Pretty big.
You held that one up to that camera over there, Phil. That's the man we're talking about. That is your number one seed, ladies. Look at the thickness
look
on the
at those
shoulders.
arms.
Look at the thickness. Oh my goodness! And he has a thumb that goes with that shoulder. That's the thing. His thumb is extraordinary. As you can see, like he talking stylistically about what he brings to the table. Massive amounts of back pressure. Massive because he has such a big thumb. That he makes a fist like a Travis Bajan, and for everyone else trying to contain that or get over it, if you either take on his bicep and go high, or you say, "Okay, I can't beat his bicep. I'm going to try to wrap that thumb up." It's nasty. It's nasty. What do you reckon, Lachlan?
Getting them fingers. Get him in those fingers and outside his normal lane, we'll get the job done.
Nice. Hey, big. Not talking about big humans. We got Derek Smith, another giant of a man, 6'8" again, I think, something like that. Similar weight to Maateiwarangi at Morris. He comes in with a $4.99 US super chat. Thank you, brother. He says, "Hope you guys have a great event. All will be watching. Support Aussie arm wrestling." Thank you,
Legend,
Derek.
Derek.
You're the man. And Derek, of course, facing Dave Chafee in his next match. So,
has that been announced?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because I was doing a chat with Paul Italia, and we're like, "What's next for Dave? What's next for Dave?" Up, very difficult to try and work out. But what's next for Dave to give some of the up and comers a go? I think that's kind of his going to be his thing for a little while to at least keep him a little bit more regular.
I would have loved to have seen Derek in this draw. Derek in this draw would have been amazing.
I think that who's stopping Derek? Honestly,
Derek, it's not too late. There are flights still remaining. That look, Phil works in the industry.
Yep. Send me a message, Derek.
We'll get
10 grand, easy money.
You'll go home broken even.
10 grand flight last minute and a 10 grand prize.
Let's
go. All right, let's have a look. A few people said Derek for the win if he shows up. Well, Derek is officially ranked number 12 in the world at the moment. Arm Wars, one more time, Neil, pick up. We can't let Neil slide through. He said Stoiker hunts Aussies. Who's next? Is there no one else? Let's go, Ryan. I have to
Let's
ask.
get Stoiker over.
Yeah, look. What did you think of Stoiker's performance against Jordan Davis? He kind of crushed the soul of Australian arm wrestling.
Tell you what, those guys kept that very close to their chest. Jordan gave away nothing up until that release. But look, full credit to Neil. That was the most impressive production I've ever seen in arm wrestling. And that was absolutely superb. The editing, the drama, the way that played out, and a great storyline. And Stoiker, dude's a beast. Love to stick him in the over-the-top draw and see how far he goes.
Absolutely. Hey, we got a comment in here from Wisely. He says, "Hi, Ryan. Can you bring your grippers to the event?" Yes, sir, I can. I will. I will bring the grippers to the event. I've got the full rack of Captains of Crush, some after tournament shenanigans. We might see who can close what. That sounds like some good content with the people in the room there. That'll be who has the strongest grip of those people? Who do you think could close the highest gripper out of everyone in this draw? I don't think it's going to be Maateiwarangi. His hand's too big.
Look, if Ryan Phillips jumps in, that man has closed a 3, and even untrained.
I've closed a 300-pounder, and the 3 is rated at 280, so I might have a 3.5 in me.
Oh, there you go.
Tom Haviland, if he's there.
Tom Haviland.
He closes all of them at once.
He doesn't even bother with Captains of Crush. They don't have anything for him at Captains and Crush.
But yes, Wisely, I will bring that, and I'll also bring a few nails to bend as well. When Mario Timbarkis has won the tournament and he's put $10,000 over the bar for everyone, we'll be bending nails, we'll be closing grippers, we'll be more sore than we've ever been in our lives after that. So I'll bring it all down. But good, thanks for the prompt. I'll remember to do that one.
Mario messaged me yesterday and he said, nothing to do with the actual the competition. He said, "Phil, how well equipped is the bar in the venue?" That was his only concern. How much liquor do they have inside the rooms? Are you at a casino? You'll be okay.
You'll be fine. Yeah.
Hey, Chris H comes up with a very juicy question. And this one has to be answered by you, Phil. Who was the person who beat Devin left-handed a couple of years ago? He's talking about the elusive Mr. Danny Tesh.
The Enigma.
Is he coming?
He might. I don't know. I don't know. Danny, I mean, he's hard. He's a hard man to peg down. But look, I know he'd love to be there. I think we'd all love to see Danny come in and even shit. If Danny walked in at 80 kilo and jumped in that class, he would wreck a lot of Danny untrained. I'd say would win the 80 kilo class.
I agree with that. I think Danny is a freak. If you to understand just how much of a genetic freak Danny is, go to YouTube and type in Devin Larratt v Strong Guy. Actually,
that was early. That was the first time that Devin gripped him and said,
"Watch this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it for you." Devin Larratt, the Strong Guy. Pretty sure this is Danny Tesh. Yeah, here he is. Let's just tee this up. Let's mute that one. Let's get back here. I'm going to share this screen with you guys. Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This was Danny Tesh when he'd never done any arm wrestling ever at all in any way, shape, or form up against Devin Larratt. This is just some random strong guy. We didn't even know his name. The title of the video was just Devin Larratt versus a strong guy. So this is the genetic baseline that Danny Tesh possesses. Danny is a slow-moving monster. You watch. It gets interesting when Devin goes to actually pull him out of his shoulder. You watch the look on Devin's face. It's like, oh, hang on, what's going on here? This guy's like for real. As Danny getting into that famous press. I do agree with you, Phil. If he turns up, he wrecks the 80 kilo class. What do you reckon?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you've seen him lose his hand, even to guys like Charles Puri. Danny he's good everywhere on the table, and he has that "I'll break my arm" attitude. And he said that to me in no uncertain terms a few times. I'll break my arm before I lose this match. So yeah, if he turns up, that lifts our pay-per-views massively.
Oh, doesn't it ever? I think that does almost more than Larry Wheels. I mean,
the only thing that would exceed that would be Larry Wheels versus Danny Tesh.
Oh yes,
that might just break the internet.
Here is the famous footage. This is when he actually was developed as an arm wrestler. Now the context here, a lot of people say, but this is Devin having pulled a whole bunch of people. Okay, some clarity on that. This is 15 minutes after Danny Tesh had won the tournament. Devin had been pulling everyone throughout the weekend on right. He'd been saving his left for Danny. He said, I want to pull Danny left. I want to feel Danny left. These guys had a similar amount of work on them. They've eased in, slow pull, and this is what happens. Look at the genuine effort. Now, everyone says, look, Devin Larratt is Mr. Endurance. He's going to outlast. Well, Danny Tesh is the true Mr. Endurance. I've never seen Danny Tesh lose a slow pull, and you can see the cha-cha-chas now starting to come on from Devin. But Danny still has the shoulder line. Getting Danny outside of his shoulder is a near impossible task. And Devin Larratt right now is starting to think, oh, man, okay. It's not to say that Devin couldn't hit from the beginning, but in this context, this slow pull, these guys eased in together. This is genuine effort from both men. And, yeah. Let's just watch it. I'll give it some sound so you can hear it. Look at this. It's crazy.
Sink it in.
Epic.
That's Devin redlining.
That's gotta be.
Yeah, you can see the panic in Devin's face of like, oh man, sorry, as my YouTube channel video gets in the way there. An epic finish. The one and only Danny Tesh. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope he turns up. I really do hope he turns up.
None of us will recognize him.
Yeah, because he was, 90 kilos there. What does he weigh today, Phil? You're the only man that's seen him.
80, 81, 82. Fit. He looks fit. He does a lot of calisthenics, but he's not, which probably plays well into it. He hasn't arm wrestled, so he has no pain.
That's true. You turn up fresh.
He's fresh.
Yeah, Neil Pickup for the Arm Wars channel says Danny, of course, was already famous in the dad twatting industry. I don't exactly know what that means, but
No idea what that means.
but I think Neil is actually, if anyone had to take credit for making Danny's reputation as big as it is, it's Neil Pickup. Because when Danny Tesh went to the WAL, I think what Neil picked up on was, and that was not intended for me to say what Neil picked up on then, was the fact that all of Australia had so much confidence in Danny. Like we're all saying, no, Quinlan Mendes just can't win. It's not even a debate. Danny Tesh is going to win, and the USA was so upset at how confident all of Australia was that Danny Tesh was going to win, and everyone was saying, yeah, but we've all got a guy that's unbeatable. I'm like, no, this is Danny. Danny's not going to lose, and Danny did what he did, and Neil saw that and was just like, he ran with it. So. Neil Pickup, we thank you for your service in making Danny Tesh the most famous arm wrestler in the world.
And the song Neil did for Danny, I don't know if you guys saw it.
I remember that.
So
yeah.
I would play
Tesh
that
is
to
the best.
Danny. Yeah, and Danny was just, it's funny. Like he sort of watched it and he was just, I guess, overwhelmed that this was about him. And Neil had said, Phil, you have to show this to Danny. And sitting on the couch and sort of glancing sideways at Danny to see his reaction, he had this sort of small smirk on his face of appreciation.
Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise. We got the beast, Maateiwarangi Heta Morris in the house. How are you, brother?
Cheers, mate. Yeah, I'm feeling good, eh?
Good to see you.
Mate.
Man, how are you feeling? You're 3 days out from the biggest arm wrestling tournament Oceania has ever had. Where are you at, man?
I've been talking to a few people about this, and this is the first time I've actually felt really good.
Nice.
There's no pain, no nothing, and it's a little bit of a new territory, I guess. So I feel pretty good.
Very good. Very good. Your main opponent, the number 2 seed, is sitting right here. His neck is looking very thick.
My good friend.
Last time you guys have faced before, you got the victory last time. How are you feeling coming up, knowing that the red hot form that Lachlan's in? Is he taking up all of your focus?
No, I mean that's the other thing is I'm not going and worried about anyone else. I'm only going and worried about myself, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. What are you weighing right now, brother?
160 on a light day.
Nice. So what are you going to be turning out? You going to so well fed and clothed, 165 or something like that?
It should be 165. Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice. And when do you arrive in country?
I'm flying to Brisbane tomorrow. We land in just before 3. And then we're staying for about a week. So yeah.
Beautiful. Sweet. Maateiwarangi, I would love to know, who don't you want in your preliminary rounds? If you heard from the show, Phil Rasmussen has said we're going to have at least a 64-man draw in this. So there's a lot of matches that you got to get through. Are there any people that you just hope you don't see called up against you at any stage in the draw? Just for not that you're not the favorite, but people that worry you about putting work into your hand and wrist.
I can only, I mean, it'll be for the guys that I've wrestled before. You know, I've wrestled you before. I've wrestled Lachlan before. I've wrestled Ryan, Brett, all of them. So all you guys are, on my hit list. Larry Wills that's gonna be an interesting one. Like, I know Larry hasn't done it for too long, but he has trained with the best within that time. So that'll be interesting. Yeah, but I think all of these hoping to come across on the table.
Yeah. Hey, have you ever won $10,000 in an arm wrestling match before?
Mate, not 10,000, mate.
Yeah, it's a big prize. Phil, you got any questions for Maateiwarangi?
Look, I think I want to know in the lighter classes, Mate, you've got all the top NZ boys coming over. Where do you see guys like Josh Barnett? I mean, these guys are really strong, and they haven't had a lot of airtime in a while because we haven't run an event like this in 2.5 years. So, what are your picks in the lighter classes?
Yeah, I think Josh and Fitzy are going to surprise a few people, quite a lot of people. We've got Josh who's real strong, and we've got Fitzy who's quite tall, got a long arm, and knows how to use it. I feel like those two. Jack Lawrence, yep, he's gonna bring some power with him. Yeah. It's gonna be an interesting one, man. We've got we've got the top New Zealand guys coming over, so we can't wait.
Good stuff. Lachlan Adair, you got any questions for your main opponent before you clash?
No,
3 days
just
off?
looking forward to seeing you, man. So
Yeah.
it'll be fun on the day. No
I
matter
got
what.
a questions for you both. You guys are the number 1 and 2 seeds in this tournament. I think you're quite evenly balanced in terms of the expectation from the world of arm wrestlers. What sort of mindset are you guys bringing into this? Are you fired up? It's been 2.5 years since you guys have had the opportunity to face
3.5.
3.5. What sort
now,
of what does this mean to you both? What is the attitude for you guys coming into this tournament, and in particular towards each other? How do you guys feel about this match? Whoever wants to go first can go.
No, for me, look, it's nothing personal, but it's when I'm nervous about a match, I tend to be quite a bit aggressive. So I'll be coming in hot. Nothing directed at you. It'll just be general. You know, you might as well be a barbell. You know, it's that sort of aggression. You know full well. So that's going to be my intention going in. So behave. And, yeah.
And how are you feeling going in, brother?
Yeah, I've always got a similar approach to jumping on the table, and you know, I go on across the table to a friend, and I leave the table with a friend. So in between that, though, the mind switches off, and something else comes out. So
the beast, eh? The genuinely the beast stuff.
I think,
well, mate, sorry, you go.
I pull from, I think, like I pull from emotions, I think. You know?
Yeah, and you've had a big journey through the arm wrestling walk, as well as your own life and your family and that. And so I think that after this long, the build up, I think whoever wins this tournament, and Phil, this can be a lot of this thanks can be done towards you and your team. Whoever wins this tournament, it's going to be big. It's going to be emotional. It's going to be special. It's going to be huge in that respect.
Yeah. Look, Matei's been there from the start. I mean, you're like our extended family, man. You've been there since 2013 when you and Brett Coots clashed for the first time, and ever since every Trans Tasman event we've had, you've been there, and you've been the top guy in most of those comps. So this is just we can't wait to reunite everyone from across the dip, have a massive big competition again. And look, and matters what many don't know. Matei's helped me. I don't remember, Matei, you helped me in my software business with the Maori translation of our software. So I reached out to Matei when I was in a bit of a bind translating to Maori, which is New Zealand's national language. And Matei actually looked over the system and helped me out with that for days and was tremendously helpful. So Matei, I owe you big for that, man. And that's what I love about arm wrestling community is we all, arm wrestling brings so many people together. We've got so many lasting friendships that I wouldn't have had, and I wouldn't have met you in, I don't think, any other context. So half you guys I wouldn't have met in any other context. So that's what arm wrestling does.
Yeah, I think I can't wait to compete, but like I've said to a lot of the voices, I can't wait to see everyone as well,
Oh, it's gonna be a party, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's gonna be an absolute party.
Our strong friends. My only regret is I'm going to be in doing a match like a month later, so I'm not going to be able to be doing a whole lot more on my right hand after. Hang on, sorry, right. Just changing batteries, yeah. There's going to be not a whole lot of right arm shenanigans that'll be going on after the tournament for me, unfortunately, but I'll still be there kicking it and fooling around with my left arm for sure.
As long as who wins puts some of that money on the bar tab, I think we'll all be happy.
Yeah. I'll put some.
And I've got a banging after party at the 19 rooftop bar. We'll have at least 100 people can get in there. So
hell yeah.
It'll be, look, just half the fun is after the event finishes, and then we can all get together and arm wrestle and talk, and because you don't get much of a chance during the day.
No.
Hey, Neil Pickup says, I've not seen Maateiwarangi for many years. Last time was at the WAF World. Good bloke and quite some hombre. From Neil Pickup from Arm Wars. There to you, Maateiwarangi.
Cheers, Neil.
Good stuff. Hey, mate, we might let you go and enjoy your last night's rest in New Zealand before we see you on Australian shore. Safe travels, brother, and cannot wait to watch you perform on the weekend. Just make sure you have a massive war with this guy. Like, kill each other. Kill each other so I can clean up the scraps, please.
Later. There'll be big wars.
Good stuff. All right, mate, you take care. We'll see you soon.
See you, bro.
Cheers, guys.
See you, Mate.
There we go. Maateiwarangi heads to Morris. He's looking good. He's looking confident. He looks like he's in a good mind state. He's calm. I think he's very respectful of all his opponents.
He always is, yeah.
He
always is.
I expect a big showing for him.
Yeah. Most intimidating guy, without a doubt, but the loveliest guy.
To look at. As soon as you open your mouth, you're like, oh, you're a nice bloke.
Yeah, arm wrestlers are a good crew like that. Like you feel pretty safe around arm wrestlers. Like
pretty safe. Yeah,
they're a strong bunch.
Yeah, they're a strong bunch. Yeah.
Funny. Speaking of that, the Star where we're hosting this, they initially said, "Phil, you need to have 2 security guards there," and I said, "Why do I need security guards now?" And it was going to cost me $2,000. And I said, "Your security guards are literally pointless at this event. We have every big guy in the Southern Hemisphere in this room."
Yeah.
And they're all on our side. They're all there for the event. So nothing has ever broken out at an arm wrestling event. In my history of running these events, we've never had any altercations. We've had little hot-headedness on the table, but it's resolved.
And even if there was hot-headedness between two athletes, the rest of the arm wrestlers there, the Tom Glaciers of the world, the like shit, nothing's going down.
Everyone jumps in and just be like, shut up. Like, go away. Because like the other thing too is you don't want to be fooling around when we've got Panduit. It's like you don't want to be getting that much. Cool, we might scream at each other and stuff like that, but the second you cross that threshold into the table, inappropriate, and like there should be some sort of ramifications because that's going to affect future like potential using that venue again, the sponsors and all this sort of stuff. Like it's just no one wants to see this go downhill. We're all trying to build it, and that sort of pork choppery is not appreciated.
And as the Drew 24 has mentioned, the arm wrestling community is my favorite. I agree wholeheartedly. It's a very one of a kind community it is. But ladies and gentlemen, we've been on for 1 hour and 21 minutes. So I'm going to put a last call in for questions, comments to either of these two gentlemen, Phil Rasmussen, the president of the Australian Arm Wrestling Federation, the man behind it, and Lachlan Adair stretching it out there, the number 2 seed, the number 1 ranked Australian arm wrestler in the draw. So if you have any questions for these two guys, now is your chance. I will look at all of the comments section to make sure I don't miss it. Aussie Arm Wrestler says he will be buying the winner the first beer. Ask about the women's class to Phil. That's a good one from Josh Barker.
I might start though.
All right.
Sarah Rodwell is coming. Everyone look out.
Very good. Phil, what do we got in store for the women?
Look, so is Vic, from my understanding as well.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah.
But Sarah's cutting under 65. So is she?
We'll see on the day.
Look, there's a few girls that have registered to compete that I don't know their names.
So it's just under 65, over 65.
Yeah, which is exactly what Over the Top did. So all the weight classes are exact per the event in 1986. There's obviously the pounds conversion that there's a little giveaway either side, but it's accurate
close
to
enough,
that. So
close enough is near enough.
But should be a good ladies class. I mean, there's $2,000 of prize money just for the ladies division, which is the biggest we've ever done.
Phil, what is the prize money breakdown? We know the $10,000 is the top prize, but for second and third in the overalls, and also for the weight category.
So it's 10 grand for the open class, 3 grand for second place in the open class. I think 1,500 or 1,000 for third place. So open class itself is $14,000 just for that division, and then you've got the 14 divisions across left and right, and the men's and women's, and there's $500 first place, $250 for second, and $100 for third. So there's another 12, 13 grand just in money that goes into the weight division. So yes, we couldn't afford the truck, but we did match the money from the pro classes at the 86 event and all the weight classes as well.
And the truck, someone commented before, $150,000 truck. No, trucks don't cost that much. The cheapest ones that you get from
that was the price that John got. John sold it for $150 in 1987.
Back then. Trucks now is
after they drove it around for a year as well. So
So the cheapest one you can get is a Kenworth, and it's still going to set you back $350K. So
Hey, what we got a question for you, Phil. Where to go? Are the matches best of 3? Hell no.
No,
Sure.
this is double elimination.
Yeah.
Could you imagine how long that would take?
Oh,
You got,
I've already got Juan sweating over the number of matches at the draw. So
so how many competitors in total are you expecting?
between 150 and 200.
Very nice. Very nice. Good stuff. And Procrastinator asked, will there be any surprise guests, competitors to shock everyone on the day? I know we've had this question asked, Phil, but one more time, is there someone up your sleeve?
Not up my sleeve, but like I said earlier, there are big randoms entering. Ben Carroll is obviously one that we don't know for sure, and he will be very destructive in the main draw. Ben Carroll goes in. There was a guy that messaged me only yesterday from New Zealand, not affiliated with Mate or the NZ boys. And I looked at his pick, and this guy was very solid. He said, mate, I want to compete. And I said, it's in Australia, right? And he goes, yeah. Can I enter? I said, sure. And he goes, good, I'm booking a flight tomorrow. I'll be there.
He believes in himself.
And this guy looked like, I don't know if you remember FitX, John Brzenk in that series of matches up until Lars. There was another guy. So Alan Cleese was the big strong man, but there was a small Italian guy.
That guy?
Now, this is not, this guy looks a lot like that guy.
Okay.
Same build, massive. He was a sort of shorter bodybuilder, but I just thought immediately to that guy and thought that guy was he was an arm wrestler. He didn't let us know he was, but he was.
We had to remember that Indian guy that rocked up the training. He's like, I don't arm wrestle, I don't arm wrestle, I don't arm wrestle. And he turns up, right? And he just wrecks everyone. And I'm like, you arm wrestling. He's like, no, I don't. I'm like, obviously, I didn't have a problem with him, but he lived near me and he was like, why are you all laughing? I'm going to beat this guy. And he was talking to me and I'm like,
yeah, we've had people like Leandro Jesus come across on visas that are just here and they're established arm wrestlers in their own countries back home, and they just turn up on the day. So you never know. You never know. Question from the 9th says, I'll be attending. Will you guys offer fans some quick lessons? If not, I don't want to take you out of your kill zone at any point. The good news is, brother, there will be so many arm wrestlers in the room that I don't think you'll have any dramas at all, rubbing shoulders with and getting tips and whatnot from people. So absolutely. And certainly after the event, all the big names, Maateiwarangi, Lachlan, myself, everyone, Phil, I'm sure we'll be more than happy to get on. That's one of the things about the culture of the sport is that it's very inclusive and happy to share that knowledge. It's an amazing sport, and we'd love to group up with you, Ben. So look forward to seeing you there. Fantastic. All right, well, ladies and gents, we have got to the bottom of the comments section. It's an hour and 27 minutes in. I'd like to first of all thank my guests, Lachlan Adair and Phil Rasmussen, for joining us on the show. But ladies and gentlemen, this weekend, do not miss it. Over the Top Down Under is going to be the biggest and easily the best tournament that has happened in the Oceanic region. It will be on a pay-per-view via My Sports Live. I will put the link to that pay-per-view in the description as soon as we end this live chat. Any final words from you, Phil?
I'm excited.
You're excited?
I think we're all excited. It's now dawned on me just how big this is. Yep. And seeing all of the excitement from the competitors and the Singapore guys at the airport getting ready to fly, it's fantastic. I just can't wait to see everyone on the Gold Coast, and we'll put on a great show.
It is going to be a hell of a lot of fun. Lockie, you got any final words before we go?
No, I'm just going to be coming in like a wrecking ball.
You get that head shaved a little tighter.
Yeah. It'll be down to a number 1 tomorrow. So be looking sharp as always.
Good stuff. All right, ladies and gents, we're going to wrap that one up there. Please hit the like button for us. Share this one with someone who needs to know the details about the event, as we've covered a lot in tonight's show. But please, most importantly, make sure you guys all sign up to the pay-per-view via the My Sports Live link that I will put in the description. Head to the Australian Arm Wrestling Facebook page and the event for all the specific details. If you're looking to come on the day, I believe it's a ticketed event at the door.
It is now. We've exceeded the initial spectator allocation, so it is.
It is 700 or something.
No, we didn't. Well, we had a few hundred initially, plus competitors, and now we've expanded to 700. So yeah, it's you can buy tickets at the door cash. Do it online; it's easier. It makes my life easier checking everyone in. So yeah, go online, guys.
But just picture it, guys. 700 people crowded around that Perspex table. It's Lachlan Adair and Maateiwarangi fighting for $10,000 cash. The room will be going off. That will be psycho.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be a big weekend. Do not miss it, guys. Get the pay-per-view. And if you're at the event, we will see you there. But, guys, last time, thank you so much for joining us on tonight's stream. We appreciate every single one of you guys. All right.